Alright, so we're going to wrap things up today playing some Zed Elusives. We're very close to hitting Platinum 4, so we're going to see if we can push up while being a little bit aggressive here. Zed, while it doesn't have strict synergy with the elusive threats in this deck, is just a powerful, aggressive champion all on his own. 3-2 with quick attack, then when it attacks, it summons a living shadow alongside it, and then his level up condition is that he and or his shadow have struck the opposing nexus twice, and then he turns into a slightly bigger version of himself that has a living shadow that copies him. Shadow Shift here recalls an ally and summons a living shadow in its place. It's kind of sweet. And then the rest of the deck, the elusives part, is this deck plays a variety of followers that either have elusive or can gain elusive in some way. Navi Conspirator is actually really sweet in this deck as well, because while recalling an ally can kind of look like a drawback, it can also be an upside when we have different things like Blade Scout and Omen Hawk that give us effects when they come into play. So let's go ahead and pop on into some ladder matches here with this and see how it goes. Yeah, I agree. I talked about this earlier too, like, the current Legends of Runeterra metagame is, like, absurdly diverse and interesting, and I think that there's a good chance that's not a fluke, and if Riot uses their digital tools to properly maintain balance in their game, both by nerfing cards that are too good and by buffing cards that aren't good enough, this game has a lot of potential for the future moving forward. No champion probably means the burn deck. I think I'm pretty okay to keep this, huh? It's got 1-drop into 2-drop, and this summoning some extra allies out of my deck will be really useful here. Many of the bigger players in this game think that this is the best deck since the format settled. Sure, I'm interested to see how it plays out. Yeah, no champions is usually burn, right? Is my understanding. I think we green Gleed duo here. And then next turn we can go Navi Conspirator, pick this up, replay it. No reason to attack this into their 2-3. We'll hit this in here though, because it's elusive, they can't block it. Hitting the bonus on our 7-drop here feels a little bit bad, but it is what it is. That's also another expensive one.
Remember the objectives. The few for the many.
So, with these big chunky monkeys in my hand here, and like this to summon for value, if they attack here, I think I double block and just trade off. Is it crazy to just trade off my boards here? What do we think of that?
Don't want any trouble.
Yeah, we just block everything? Always trade? Like this? I think we're probably the control deck in this matchup. Our top end is bigger than their top end. Let's just like trade everything off as much as possible. If this hits Alliance, which it's pretty likely to, we only have 7 cards that don't meet that condition. We should be in a very good spot.
Extra hands never hurt.
Okay, it's a good one.
Won't find better this side of the sun. Putting it on the mark.
Mackie with my elusive.
No refund.
Okay, so if we survive to get to play this in 2 turns, we should be pretty well off here.
I'll try anyone once.
That's an 8-6. This is a 5-5, and we've got I got some other things here. Feeling okay-ish. We're at 14. I'd encourage you to watch that question, Iowa, implies that you haven't watched the video that's linked in the title, so I'd encourage you to watch the video that's linked in the title.
without a sound.
It's a big boy, chat.
First one's
That's actually super unfortunate. I guess I still just attack here, because like they have 2 free blocks, but they don't have a 3rd free block. Do I attack with this too? No, because they'll block with that. I think I just hit them with these still. These are ephemeral and go away in a turn anyway, so I might as well get my crack in. They're gonna go to okay, yep, they're just blocking here. And they're trying to just burn me out at this point. Hopefully...
Is that all?
Let's say, hopefully with Will of Ionia, we're gonna be able to not die to this, but we'll see. Three and 3. I think I just let Zed take this hit, because if they want to point more damage at Zed, I think that's a net positive for us. I think they've misidentified their role. I think the fact that they're trying to kill my units means they're probably gonna be in a pretty bad spot. Just bank the spell mana.
I can do this.
Spell mana is really elegant. Big agree.
hands off the merch.
So we're taking 2 from this. Let's go block. 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 Bring down to 8. Their whole board dies. They have to kill us from 8. They could theoretically have swap the 4/4 and the 5/1. So if I bounce this, this gets countered, right? If I bounce this, this gets countered.
Time to go.
Let me show you what I can do.
So we're at 8, so we should be good here with the hatchling. Put the elusives first.
Only the worthy survive.
And I gotta let Zed level up, Chad. And I gotta let Zed level up. Ain't slow and steady. Slow and steady, chat. If you look, there's a finish button at the bottom of the screen, so you can like click through the level up animation if you don't want to see it at the end of the game, which is nice. The deep. Pretty sure we're just supposed to mulligan all of these, looking for more aggressive threats. Happy to have Omen Hawk on one. Unfortunate that we're attacking on evens here with Zed in the opener. Hopefully we find a good 2-drop in our first 2 draws. That's not a 2-drop, but it's something to do on 2 at least. Giving players choices that legal. Hey! That's exactly what we wanted for Christmas, chat. What the most efficient way to grind for cards is. I am told from people that free to play this game that the optimal way to grind for stuff is to level each of your different areas up to 8. However, just transparency, I'm a whale in every game that I play, so I don't really have much experience with that. Every time I need cards to build a new deck, I whip out the most powerful card in Runeterra, the credit card, and just purchase what we need. Alright, pretty sure we just open on Zed attacks here and see if we get to level up. Streaming as a job making purchases tax deductible is like a 25% discount, so yeah, it's plenty busted. I love that it even like shows the level up animation happening. Shows like this card's gonna level up as a result of this. Kill a unit. Wow, okay, so we're gonna like to pick that back up, please. He's my Zed and you cannot have him. Seven mana murder, 4 mana unsummon. Yeah, that tracks.
I will tend this garden.
Yes, Christy picked my pet and she picked that one. She picked the 8-bit board, but the 8-bit board music puts me to sleep, so I had to change off of it.
They cannot strike what they cannot see.
I think I just do this here, bank the 1 mana, and then next turn go 3-drop elusive, 3-drop elusive, attack for 7. If they have a fish, we could get into some trouble. Bank this as spell mana, so I think I hold this to blow out some kind of removal later.
The order rewards its faithful.
That's not bad down the line. The Runeterra Limited, I would say jumping in is fine. It's super reasonable. Okay, with this play, do I just play Zed now? Since they have a blocker? I think since they found the elusive, I just Zed.
Your path alone.
Give me the stuff! Stuff make happy!
Give me the stuff! Stuff make happy! Oh, Dredgers. Just, you get me, Dredgers. How many actual dollars would you need to spend? The most expensive competitive decks are about 25 bucks. There's a hard cap in this game of like $3 for champions that they cost out to buy outright. This attack might be wrong here, since this gets to live. It could also be right to Elixir, but I feel like the way they're setting up my one toughness things, they're going to play a spell that's going to try and deal a damage here soon. It's around $450 for the game's whole card pool. Okay. I'm getting close then. I bought some cosmetics, but I'm $300 in at this point, I believe. And they're deep. At 25 bucks, it's like a quarter of the sculpting turn. Yeah. Yeah, the crafting, not having a craft all option is definitely one of the most feature lacking things about the game. Hands down. So I think I put... Oh, this is elusive. I'm dumb. I think we elixir here to save this, and then jump with the 1/1 here, and then block. And then elusives plus Fury of the North might let us punk them out here.
My life for the Order.
We haven't seen any, is it Vile Feast is the one that deals 1 as a fast spell out of them yet? They could have some of those, potentially. I think I want to lead on the elusives here. So they block here, these trade.
You bad!
I think we just try... and kill them. If they have a Vile Feast here, they live at 1, unfortunately.
Rescue Wiggle!
Warping Whale. Yeah, that's real good. If you recall the 2/1 elusive, you can recall the 2/1 elusive to deal 3 damage. How? Oh, because it'll be a Zed copy. Okay, we're up to 20 here at least, and they no longer have an elusive, and we're not dead on board. We could be dead if they have a fling, though. Getting to hook this is a big deal. If we hit an elusive next turn, we could punk them out still. Okay, we can go Jeweled Protector into Lifeblade here. So if we don't die this turn, we could kill them next turn.
Give them life eternal.
There go our cards. Create 5 random cards in hand that are 0, are fleeting, and if I'm tossed, draw me instead. Sure. Yeah, this game is all combat tricks. It's so much fun. Wait, what? You need to kill that, right? So I just block like this so I don't die to a fling. Alright. Lethal elusives, opening on attacks. They could have, the fact that they didn't kill this with the 10 power thing could imply that they have the deal 1 to everything here, which makes this an absurd top deck. You can have the deal 1 gain 3 again here, which means this gets them blown out. Please be dead. Please be dead. Did we do it? Did we do it? Whew! That was, yeah. I feel like we stole that game. That was, yeah. Great, gold 1. Did you watch Swim's advice for the Evo meta and support master? I have not. You can tell we're wailing because we're getting a lot of extra copies here. We are gold, so we're gold 1. Well, I've only been playing for a little over a week, so we're not that far up yet. Don't you think that making creatures the only actual tempo in this game makes it one-dimensional compared to Magic? I agree the game has many good ideas, but I felt like the games were a race between who could put more combat tricks on the board first. So what you're actually describing there is actually one of the things I think makes this game incredibly good. I'm gonna mulligan these looking for some cheap threats to lead on Zed. So basically what you're saying is decks play to the board, and the board states are the things that matter, and games actually end. A big problem with Magic the Gathering is that a lot of the games devolve into what's called garbage time, where one player's either forced to concede a game they're pretty unlikely to win, or they have to sit there waiting for their opponent to eventually kill them. And it's one of the worst things about Magic. The amount of time you sit there when you're mostly dead but not 100% dead, that garbage time doesn't exist in this game. That's a huge net positive for it, in my opinion. Runeterra essentially doesn't have garbage time, which is quite wonderful. I'm gonna pass here because I don't want them to be able to hook my Zed. Now, I'm gonna play Zed and give them the option to hook it, because if they want to hook this instead of eating this for free, I'm okay with that. Also, this gives it a power back, so they can't eat it for free. Hey, William Dickey, thanks for the tip. I appreciate it. Hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you're at out there. My dashboard, let's see whatever message is attached. I need you to buy the Bilgewater board and play with it. Is the Bilgewater board, is the Bilgewater board the pirate one? Yes. Oh yeah, we could definitely swap to the Bilgewater board after this. But I miss you singing the garbage time song. That's fair. The garbage time song is good fun.
Without a sound.
This card always seems really good when I play against it. Like, you see your top 3 cards so quickly in this game compared to Magic. Alright, down to 8. Go. Yes, having no garbage time makes the game better for viewing as well. I mean, Riot, like, in a way, basically invented esports, right? Like, they know what they're doing.
Only the finest serve.
They cannot strike what they cannot see.
I'll cut them a face me.
Hot on the trail.
Sure, StarCraft. StarCraft is fair. StarCraft is what I was definitely forgetting.
Big one's trouble.
Right. Do I Zed plus Elixir Zed here? I think the answer is yes. Get their blocker out of the way. Oh, swap the 2-1 to the 1-1. Yeah, that's a good call. I could have had one more damage on this, which means Zed's quick attacks attack into it. So it's actually a pretty big mistake there on my part. Yeah, I have Fury, but like I wouldn't have to use Fury this turn if I had played better.
I know a challenge when I see one.
So like I had to use a trick here that I wouldn't have had to use if I had played slightly better.
I like this judge.
Pump Zed pre-combat? No, I don't want them to know that they're... I guess it forces them to block it. I don't know, they traded with the Shadow anyways.
Victory requires a sharp blade.
Few are in the right to call themselves Trifarian.
You'd Fury the Elusive and push face. Now, I think that's incorrect. That's a good one. You have a 5+ power ally, kill all units with 4 power or less. So... I saved the Elusive here, right? They can force a block here, but then I gain 5. Like, they can force a block with whatever I save, so gaining 5 here seems ideal.
These old eyes still see far and clear.
Yeah, there's a lot of really good Magic players that have done design on this game, and it shows. I think they've done a really good job of taking some of the best parts of Magic while removing some of the parts that suck. Come on, King. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, Wayfinder. Oh, Wayfinder. Oh, stupid bird. Stupid bird. Oh. There's only like seven ice cards in this deck, right?
My arrow? I think not.
Nothing escapes my watch.
Is this game better than Magic? I think this game has the potential to be a better fundamental game than Magic is, yeah. I think it's difficult to impossible for a game that is this young with this small of a card pool to compete with Magic in terms of the range of play patterns that it offers. But I think if Riot does a good job and manages their game well moving forward, they have the tools. The big fact that Riot won't be limited by a paper component means that it will be much easier for Riot if they design the game right to keep it well balanced and interesting. If that makes sense. The ability to not only make cards that are too good better, but make cards that are worse stronger is a huge thing. I'm gonna mulligan everything here and try and find some 1-drops in our aggro deck. There could be some merit to keeping the 2, but holy crap, that's whale poop.
Please? Where are you?
Yeah, I agree. Magic, most of the things that have made Magic frustrating and bad for me in the last 2 years would be so trivial to fix if they just could change the numbers on cards a little bit. And they just can't, right? Like, paper's a big part of their game.
I must get out of here.
Order rewards its faithful.
Ooh, we played against a Zed opponent earlier who did a bunch of nothing and then conceded. They must have had a hand that looked like this, huh?
They weren't expecting callers.
That's also true, Saban. I also think Wizards has made some incredibly bad decisions even with the tools they have available to them. But I also think having better tools makes it easier to make good decisions. Like on a fundamental level. That wasn't really the card I wanted to play. I think I wanted to play that, but you know, at least we get to attack and gain some life here. Life happens.
I will play my part.
Yeah, I agree. The court, like, we often talk about like how Magic's resource system just kind of sucks, and you know, the fact that Runeterra has been able to be designed with, you know, so many years worth of experience learning from mistakes that like Magic and other games made before it is a huge step up for it. We're super dead here.
I love a taste of the action.
And we're back on down. I definitely should have played. I grabbed the wrong 4-mana card that started with Kinko in my hand. I was reading chat and clicking at the same time, and I clicked on the wrong 4-drop. I should have played the 4-drop that summoned 2 extra blockers. Oh, I need to change the game board. Forgot we were gonna do that. I do wish this game had best of 3 with the sideboard. I don't know. I haven't felt really a compelling need to add best of 3 to this game. A big part of why Magic having best of 3 is so important is because Magic's resource system is so god-awful. Best of 3 is an important tool for balancing out the non-games that Magic has in it. Whereas, like, this game really doesn't have non-games a lot of the time. He says as he just played a game where he drew a bunch of 4-drops and died. I also think that, like, that non-game we just played there, part of that, you can always find my approximate schedule on my website, although right now, for people that are new to the channel, I'm going to be taking a short break from streaming soon because my wife and I are expecting our 3rd child any day now. She's scheduled to be induced on Monday if she doesn't come naturally before then, so... Normally I'm here during the day, and my schedule gets updated regularly on my site, but a little bit more sporadic for in the short term. Yeah, that's also true. There's less situationally useful cards in this game than compared to Magic so far. So there are, like, you're not playing games where you just, like, have a bunch of dead cards in your hand as often. I don't even know that it's fair to say, like, you said Magic has more axes of interaction. I think it's more fair to say Magic has more narrow things you have to be prepared for.
Silent as death.
There's a chill in the air.
They're playing something similar here with Lucian. Interesting. I think I'm just opening on attacks here because I'm going to hold back the 1/1 to chump next turn. I'm going to open on attacks here because I don't want them to get a chance to play Elusive now. And then we'll go ahead and play Jeweled Protector and we can Kinko Lifelblade next turn.
You're adorable when you're angry.
And thank you, Blood Wolf. Blood Wolf.
The order rewards its faithful.
We're going to get to play this and attack next turn. It's going to be real good.
Hello, love.
In the field, you call me commander. Go ahead, scare me.
So, what type of Magic player do you think Legends of Runeterra most appeals to? Yes. In fact, I'd argue the current Legends of Runeterra has more archetype diversity than Magic's had in a long time. Mid-range basically hasn't existed in Magic since War of the Spark released, at least not in a very interesting competitive sense. Yeah, I think that's actually pretty accurate. I feel like playing with and around champions of this game is a kind of mini game within the game that I kind of wanted out of Planeswalkers. Yeah. Yep. I heard that.
Cannot hide.
Your move, Yugi boy.
Head down.
If the eye says they're gonna die, click OK, chat.
I'll sleep when they're dead.
You know, I don't think I've ever seen his level up animation. Math is for the eye. Alright, well remember to change the fire port this time. Alright, back up to gold 1. Let's see if we can do it, chat. Can we make the push? The Slaughtered Ox board does have S tier board music, which is great. Does ramp exist in this game? Kind of. There's some cards that accelerate your mana, but there aren't a ton of them. So, Misfortune's an aggressive champion. I'm going to keep Zed here. We're attacking on odds, so this is good. I'm going to go ahead and mulligan these, looking for some other aggressive threats here with level 1 drop to start on. I feel like this deck doesn't have enough cheap cards in it. We have been getting a lot of these clunky opening hands.
Bounty Bowl knows me now.
Kind of feel like I want to add another 1 or 2 drop to this list. Should take a 5-ball here on turn 2. Feels bad, man. At least we're banking mana for spell mana down the line, so like maybe we can catch back up in terms of tempo.
Pledge yourself to the shadows.
Maybe I'm supposed to wait a turn so I can protect this,
I'm one of
but
the good guys, but not that.
I can't really afford to wait though.
Only the worthy survive.
Someone earlier said if you wanted to own every card in this game, it's currently about $450 to buy outright. That being said, building a tier 1 competitive deck costs about 25 bucks. There's no secret content creator mode for this game. I just, you know, you give Riot money and they give you stuff. It's a good system.
Feel the sizzle! Let's get to it.
So Misfortune here is gonna shoot all my stuff.
Set sail.
Can't fight on an empty stomach. You call that?
So I get to do this, and I get to pump Zed here. We're about to take a ton of damage. We're gonna take 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 here down to 6. Yeah, I mean, just like, sure, we can open attack, I guess, but I guess we go like Blade Scout, Conspirator, replay Blade Scout, so we're like okay against their open attacks next turn.
I ought to show you the sights of Bilgewater. The sights are fine. The smells, on the other hand. Quietly.
What about buffing Zed to force them to block? It would have only forced one block, and I don't think that's good enough.
Looking for a daring escape.
And then I can't get more stuff on board, which means I'm more likely to die to open attacks next turn.
Alright, let's
I'm aware of how Zed works. I just didn't think that play was good, so I didn't make it. So again, if you think I should make a play, please try and help me understand why I should make that play.
They'll never see me coming.
time to get rowdy.
Just like hunting thresher geese.
I think we're dead, right? Yeah, people talking about this deck being one of the best decks in the format. I feel like I would be genuinely surprised if this deck was consistent enough to like be one of the best decks. Like there's just like this curve is just look at the 4 slot on this curve, chat. Like this is like not okay. It's tier 1. I mean, I believe you could win games with it. It probably has a fine win rate if you're a little bit fortunate, but like we played against it on the ladder and like it did nothing and died. Like our games so far have been a lot of do nothing and die. Like looking at the curve, you basically have to have, and like here's the other problem, like this curve isn't even accurate because if we don't have one of our 6 1-drops, this isn't a 2-drop. So like our curve is even misleading. Our curve is even misleading as to like what's going on here. And again, this is why I think it's important to mix, you know, experience with statistics. Well, obviously I have a small-ish sample size here, just purely running the numbers on what your chances are to have a decent curve based on how the deck is built, that's really just not going to come together. It's really just not going to come together in a lot of the games. And like, I feel like we did a good job highlighting some of both the good draws that were impressive, but also the, we need to full mulligan here looking for something useful so we can curve out, and then like looking at our hand and being like, oh, we just have another unkeepable hand. There's another version of Elusive that is red that gives you burn tools. That makes sense. I think I'm going to go ahead and call it a day. I appreciate everybody that hung out through the end here. Assuming I don't have a third child by then, outside of my wife, I'm going to be live again tomorrow morning with some more Runeterra. We'll probably kick off with, I'm going to take a look at the tryhard decks and see one, maybe play a little bit off stream tonight, and we'll try and finish pushing for Plat 4 tomorrow morning when we start, and then we'll play some other viewer decks after that too, so we can have some fun as well. Catch all y'all around later. Everybody enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. We're at the world and stay safe out there. A lot of crazy stuff going on right now.